Swish, swish. The sound of the wind breaking through the air resounded like a thunderclap. Countless beams of light and shadows shot up from the vicinity of the heavenly river, as numerous figures with bloodshot eyes charged toward the crack outside the river as the seal was torn apart. Anyone could feel the immense, boundless power within the heavenly river. Most of those who had come here were no ordinary individuals. They knew full well how crucial the heavenly river was within the ancient heavenly palace. Even back in the ancient times, only a select few disciples of the ancient heavenly palace could enter the heavenly river. However, now that the ancient heavenly palace had been destroyed and only the heavenly river remained, those who could seize this opportunity would undoubtedly benefit greatly in their future cultivation. Some might even rise to prominence, becoming outstanding figures among the younger generation of the Tianluo continent, attracting everyone's attention. In this moment, no one could keep their composure. They all risked everything to rush into the heavenly river. According to the former rules of the ancient heavenly palace, only those who possessed the 9 mansion tokens could enter the heavenly river. However, now that the heavenly river no longer had its guardians, when the seal was torn apart, those without the 9 mansion tokens also took the chance to slip inside, hoping to gain an advantage and seize an opportunity. In the midst of the throng, Chen wasted no time. Since they were the closest to the heavenly river, they reached the crack in the seal the fastest. After exchanging a glance, they charged straight in. Whoosh! As their feet crossed the crack in the seal, and they stepped into the space of the heavenly river, an ancient aura, as if accumulated over millennia, overwhelmed them. This aura caused Chen and his companions to become momentarily dazed. It felt as if the air before them turned into swirling mist, morphing into ancient scenes. Figures with powerful auras howled as they plunged into the vast heavenly river as they entered. Their bodies erupted with light, forming a protective barrier around them. They began chasing after the stars within the heavenly river. The scene quickly faded, and Chen's group snapped back to their senses. Looking down, they saw the boundless, vast heavenly river. Its waters were crystal clear, seemingly condensed with infinite power. Whenever the river stirred, the waves caused the space around them to warp. Every drop of water in the river felt as heavy as 1,000 pounds. Behind them, more and more people surged into the space, and when they saw the heavenly river, their eyes gleamed with red light, full of greed. Swish! Unable to resist the temptation, one person charged ahead and leapt into the surging waters of the heavenly river. However, just as he jumped in, a horrified scream erupted. The waves of the heavenly river surged, sweeping over him and instantly crushing the peak 9th grade powerhouse into a puddle of blood. The scream echoed, and those strong individuals who had just entered the space of the heavenly river immediately froze in terror. They quickly retreated, gazing at the river with wide-eyed shock. No one had expected the heavenly river to be this dangerous. What happened? Lin Jing exclaimed, startled. If she had jumped in recklessly like the others, she would have been in a terrible situation right now. The heavenly river contains terrifying power. Jumping in unprepared like that is seeking death, Chen replied calmly, as though he had anticipated this. So what do we do now? Xiao Xiao asked, turning to Chen. Chen smiled, then clenched his hand. The golden dragon disciple token appeared in his palm. With a flick of his wrist, he tossed the token into the heavenly river. Instantly, golden light erupted from the token. It rapidly expanded, transforming into a small boat-like shape, with a golden light forming a protective barrier around it. Chen moved and landed on the boat, as if stepping onto a leaf gliding through the river. He casually navigated the vast waters of the heavenly river. So that's what the identity token can do? Many of the strong individuals in the area observed, their eyes lighting up. They followed Chen's example, tossing their own tokens into the river. Sure enough, the tokens rapidly expanded and a protective light enveloped them, forming small boats. However, these other tokens varied in color depending on their rank, and in terms of defensive capabilities, they were nowhere near as strong as the boat formed by Chen's golden dragon disciple. Token. Within the heavenly river, there is an extremely terrifying force. If one were to recklessly enter with their physical body, death would be inevitable. Only with the protection of an identity token can one freely roam the river. However, identity tokens vary in strength, and the higher the token's level, the deeper one can venture into the heavenly river and withstand its overwhelming pressure. Chen stepped onto the golden dragon token, followed by Xiao, Linjing, and 9 Nether, who also landed. They were clearly very curious about the token beneath their feet, especially the lively Linjing, who kept poking at the glowing shield surrounding the token with her jade-like fingers. "What are we doing next?" Linjing asked eagerly. "Actually, just entering the heavenly river and cultivating here without doing anything would still be beneficial," Chen replied with a smile. "With the vast spiritual energy in the heavenly river, cultivating here would be incredibly efficient. Just one day here would be equivalent to a month of cultivation outside." However, clearly, with their aspirations, they wouldn't be satisfied with that. So after a pause, Chen continued, "To gain more benefits, we must delve deeper into the heavenly river." "What about the heavenly river baptism?" Xiao asked. With her broad perspective, she would naturally not be interested in ordinary benefits. Only the heavenly river baptism could truly capture her attention. According to the rules of the heavenly river, to undergo the heavenly river baptism, one must gather the heavenly river spirits. Only by collecting enough of them can a perfect level heavenly river baptism be created, leading to a transformation, Chen said with a smile. "Heavenly river spirits? What are those?" Linjing asked, a bit frustrated. She hadn't expected the heavenly river baptism to be so troublesome. Chen extended his finger and pointed toward the depths of the heavenly river, where occasionally a glowing orb, like a star, would float by. Even from a distance, the terrifying power emanating from those orbs could still be felt. "Those are the heavenly river spirits. Each one contains pure, unmatched power, which is the source of the heavenly river baptism. The baptism itself also has different levels: low level, high level, and perfect level. For a perfect level baptism, it takes the power of 100 heavenly river spirits." At this point, Chen shrugged and said, "But obtaining a perfect level baptism is not easy. It's said that in the ancient heavenly palace, very few disciples have ever received a perfect baptism. Then I must try." Upon hearing Chen's words, Xiao became excited and smiled. With her pride, she naturally desired the best result. "Since that's the case, let's begin," Chen said with a smile. He stamped his foot, and the golden dragon token beneath him burst into golden light, rapidly sinking into the heavenly river and swiftly diving deeper. Within the heavenly river spirits were scattered. It would be difficult to distribute them evenly if gathered together, so the 4 of them separated, heading toward different parts of the river. As they set off, the sound of splashing echoed from above the river. Many powerful figures stepped onto their tokens and darted into the river like fish, heading straight for the star-like heavenly river spirits. Whoosh! Chen's golden dragon token swiftly cut through the river, surrounded by a golden shield. This golden shield was clearly quite extraordinary. No matter how the terrifying force of the river struck, it couldn't shake the shield even a little. However, as they ventured deeper into the heavenly river, even with the shield's protection, Chen began to feel a growing sense of oppression. This made him secretly alarmed. Without the token's protection, he and the others would never have been able to venture this far into the river. As Chen marveled at this, a dazzling light suddenly appeared ahead of him. Looking up, he saw a star-like orb floating. Brilliant light radiated from it, and waves of immense spiritual power rippled out, shaking the water. It was a heavenly river spirit. Chen, feeling somewhat excited, approached the heavenly river spirit, but he remained cautious. Despite its calm appearance, the star-like orb gave off a faint sense of danger. Buzz. As Chen drew closer, the quiet heavenly river spirit seemed to sense something. It began to tremble slightly, and then, without warning, it leaped toward him, charging fiercely. Chen was startled by the scene and didn't dare waste any time. Golden light surged from his body, and instantly, vast spiritual energy transformed into golden fist imprints, passing through the token's light shield and directly striking the heavenly river spirit that was charging at him. Within the heavenly river, spiritual energy seemed to flow freely, unimpeded. When Chen's attack pierced through the light shield, it was not affected by the river's current. Instead, it sped up and surged toward the heavenly river spirit with even greater force. Boom! The golden fist imprint collided with the heavenly river spirit. However, such a powerful attack only caused the spirit to momentarily halt before the golden imprint exploded in a burst of energy. Swish! Like a small star, the heavenly river spirit shot back at him, eventually crashing hard into the token's light shield. Bang! The entire light shield shook violently, with ripples spreading outward. The token was forcibly pushed back several hundred feet. Chen looked at the trembling light shield and couldn't help but suck in a cold breath. He could feel the golden dragon token beneath his feet shudder slightly. Clearly, such a powerful attack was too much for the token to withstand. If the golden dragon token was shattered, his journey through the heavenly river would be over. The heavenly river spirit's attack was terrifying to such a degree. It was almost as powerful as a perfect 9th grade expert. Whoosh! While Chen was still in shock, the star-like heavenly river spirit shot toward him again. Damn it! Faced with the relentless pursuit of the heavenly river spirit, even Chen couldn't hold back a curse. His expression became grim. At this moment, he finally realized how difficult it was to obtain the heavenly river baptism. Achieving the perfect grade of the heavenly river baptism was even more difficult than reaching the heavens. The heavenly river spirit continued to tremble, emitting a dazzling light. The surrounding river waters rippled with each pulse, and a terrifyingly powerful spiritual energy fluctuation spread across the area. Chen looked at the heavenly river spirit, now radiating brilliant light. His expression grew even more serious. The aggression the spirit displayed was truly frightening. From his calculations, each of the spirit's attacks was comparable to a perfect 9th grade expert's strike. Furthermore, being in the heavenly river enhanced its power, making its attacks even more terrifying. After personally experiencing the spirit's might, Chen understood how hard it was to obtain the heavenly river baptism. Even the lowest level heavenly river baptism required at least 30 heavenly river spirits to initiate, and the perfect grade baptism required a staggering 100. But right now, just a single heavenly river spirit was already so hard to handle. The difficulty in gathering 30 was obvious. However, despite feeling the pressure, Chen did not feel the slightest discouragement. His dark eyes gleamed with unshakable determination. Over the years, he had faced many hardships, which had tempered his resilient character. And no matter how tough the heavenly river baptism was, he would not give up easily. Buzz. As Chen's resolve strengthened, the heavenly river spirit shook again. The next moment, it erupted in a blinding flash of light, like a glowing sphere, charging directly at him. This seemingly simple, brute force collision carried a violent surge of energy, scattering the river waters around it. With a single strike, even a perfect 9th grade expert would hesitate to challenge its force. I can't let it attack the token's light shield again. Chen's eyes flashed as he muttered to himself. The golden dragon token was his only support in the heavenly river. If the token was destroyed, no matter what tricks he had, he would be stranded within the river. Boom. With that thought, Chen's body erupted in dazzling golden light, the sound of a dragon's roar and a phoenix's cry filling the air. Behind him, the vast supreme sea seemed to materialize, releasing an overwhelming spiritual energy. Chen clenched his hand, and the crimson dragon battle spear appeared. With a flick of the spear's tip, a crimson light burst forth, sweeping across the sky like a giant dragon. It slammed into the charging heavenly river spirit with overwhelming force, as fast as lightning. Bang! The two forces collided violently. In an instant, a wild and unmatched spiritual power rampaged, turning the nearby river into a vacuum zone. Boom! However, this time, the heavenly river spirit was not able to break through Chen's attack as easily as before. Although the crimson dragon battle spear was trembling and humming, the heavenly river spirit was sent flying back over 100 feet. Chen managed to force the heavenly river spirit back with a single strike. Yet, there was no trace of joy on his face, only an increasingly grave expression. The reason for his concern was that after a brief pause, the heavenly river spirit surged forward once more, this time with even more ferocity. The river water roared as it followed suit, rushing forward like a water dragon, crashing toward him. Chen's body surged with boundless spiritual energy, which continuously poured into the crimson dragon battle spear, turning it into a crimson rainbow that shot out fiercely. At the same time, a vertical eye appeared on his forehead, emitting a faint glow. The next moment, a domineering beam of light shot out, colliding with the crimson ray from the battle spear, both strikes landing simultaneously on the heavenly river spirit. This time, aided by the power of two quasi-holy items, the heavenly river spirit was once again knocked back violently, and the brilliant light surrounding it seemed to weaken slightly from the impact. It's so troublesome. Chen frowned as he watched the scene. He hadn't expected that it would take the combined power of two quasi-holy items just to make the heavenly river spirit show the slightest sign of wear. Crash. But there was no time for Chen to think further. After being repeatedly pushed back, the Heavenly River Spirit seemed to go berserk. It turned violent, charging at Chen like a mad dog, attacking with wild abandon. Facing its crazed assault, Chen countered with the most forceful method possible. Using the power of the Crimson Dragon Battle Spear and the destruction to push it back over and over again. Boom, boom. In the Heavenly River, violent shocks erupted continuously, sending the river, heavy as a mountain, into massive waves. The two sides continued their near-mad attacks for nearly half an hour, before the Heavenly River Spirit's glow started to fade, and its movements began to slow down. Now, the Heavenly River Spirit's radiance had dimmed considerably compared to before, clearly. The constant assault had drained a significant amount of its energy. The Heavenly River Spirit was severely drained, but Chen didn't look much better himself. His breath became heavier, and sweat streamed down his forehead. Clearly, in order to withstand the Heavenly River Spirit's terrifying attacks, he had expended a vast amount of spiritual energy. Thankfully, the spiritual energy in the Heavenly River was abundant, allowing him to replenish his strength during the battle. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been able to hold out this long. Buzz. Buzz. The Heavenly River Spirit continued to vibrate, but it no longer carried the same momentum as before. Its light flickered as it suddenly turned and fled. It had clearly realized how tricky its opponent was. If it kept going, it would eventually be overwhelmed by the drain on its spiritual energy and be captured. Though it was an energy form, it clearly possessed some basic intelligence. Where do you think you're going? Chen, who had already fought it for nearly an hour, wasn't about to let it escape so easily. Prepared for this moment, he struck suddenly, his hand curling into a claw. 5 beams of spiritual light shot from his fingertips, instantly wrapping around the Heavenly River Spirit. With an explosive pull, he yanked it back. The Heavenly River Spirit struggled fiercely, but after a long battle of ebb and flow, it was finally forcefully pulled back by Chen, condensing into a light the size of a baby's fist that fell into his hand. The spiritual light gathered, forming a transparent crystal stone in Chen's hand. Inside the stone, it seemed as though the river water flowed, releasing a pure and vast wave of energy. So this is the true form of the Heavenly River Spirit. Chen marveled, holding the crystal in his hand. This small thing had previously caused him so much trouble that he carefully stowed the Heavenly River Spirit away. Despite the accomplishment, he didn't feel much joy, as he was highly dissatisfied with the efficiency of the capture. It took an entire hour to capture just one Heavenly River Spirit, and the process had drained him so much when he calculated the time required. Even if he spent the whole day hunting for the Heavenly River Spirits, he could only collect 4 or 5 at most. To gather 30, it would take him 5 or 6 days. If he wanted to achieve a perfect grade Heavenly River baptism, it would take at least half a month. Under normal circumstances, Chen wouldn't mind taking his time. However, the Heavenly River was sealed at the moment, and no one knew when the seal would close. Therefore, to be safe, he had to finish the collection as quickly as possible and begin the baptism. Chen frowned in contemplation. After a moment, he raised his head and gazed into the distance. He could see countless light flashes moving across the Heavenly River. These were the various powerful figures capturing the Heavenly River Spirits. However, these experts were all in a sorry state. The ferocious Heavenly River Spirits were too much to handle, and aside from a few elites, most of them were barely holding on, facing life-threatening situations. As a result, some of these experts had to team up and begin encircling their targets. Body surged with boundless spiritual energy, which continuously poured into the Crimson Dragon Battle Spear, turning it into a crimson rainbow that shot out fiercely at the same time. A vertical eye appeared on his forehead, emitting a faint glow. The next moment, a domineering beam of light shot out, colliding with the crimson ray from the battle spear, both strikes landing simultaneously on the Heavenly River Spirit. This time, aided by the power of 2 quasi-holy items, the Heavenly River Spirit was once again knocked back violently, and the brilliant light surrounding it seemed to weaken slightly from the impact. It's so troublesome. Chen frowned as he watched the scene. He hadn't expected that it would take the combined power of 2 quasi-holy items just to make the Heavenly River Spirit show the slightest sign of wear. Crash. But there was no time for Chen to think further. After being repeatedly pushed back, the Heavenly River Spirit seemed to go berserk. It turned violent, charging at Chen like a mad dog, attacking with wild abandon. Facing its crazed assault, Chen countered with the most forceful method possible. Using the power of the Crimson Dragon Battle Spear and the Destruction Eye to push it back over and over again. Boom! Boom! In the Heavenly River, violent shocks erupted continuously, sending the river, heavy as a mountain, into massive waves. The two sides continued their near-mad attacks for nearly half an hour, before the Heavenly River Spirit's glow started to fade, and its movements began to slow down. Now, the Heavenly River Spirit's radiance had dimmed considerably compared to before. Clearly, the constant assault had drained a significant amount of its energy. The Heavenly River Spirit was severely drained, but Chen didn't look much better himself. His breath became heavier, and sweat streamed down his forehead. Clearly, in order to withstand the Heavenly River Spirit's terrifying attacks, he had expended a vast amount of spiritual energy. Thankfully, the spiritual energy in the Heavenly River was abundant, allowing him to replenish his strength during the battle. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been able to hold out this long. Buzz. Buzz. The Heavenly River Spirit continued to vibrate, but it no longer carried the same momentum as before. Its light flickered as it suddenly turned and fled. That it had clearly realized how tricky its opponent was. If it kept going, it would eventually be overwhelmed by the drain on its spiritual energy and be captured. Though it was an energy form, it clearly possessed some basic intelligence. Where do you think you're going? Chen, who had already fought it for nearly an hour, wasn't about to let it escape so easily. Prepared for this moment, he struck suddenly, his hand curling into a claw. 5 beams of spiritual light shot from his fingertips, instantly wrapping around the Heavenly River Spirit. With an explosive pull, he yanked it back. The Heavenly River Spirit struggled fiercely, but after a long battle of ebb and flow, it was finally forcefully pulled back by Chen, condensing into a light the size of a baby's fist that fell into his hand. The spiritual light gathered, forming a transparent crystal stone in Chen's hand. Inside the stone, it seemed as though the river water flowed, releasing a pure and vast wave of energy. So this is the true form of the Heavenly River Spirit. Chen marveled, holding the crystal in his hand. This small thing had previously caused him so much trouble. He carefully stowed the Heavenly River Spirit away. Despite the accomplishment, he didn't feel much joy, as he was highly dissatisfied with the efficiency of the capture. It took an entire hour to capture just one Heavenly River Spirit, and the process had drained him so much. When he calculated the time required, even if he spent the whole day hunting for the Heavenly River Spirits, he could only collect 4 or 5 at most. To gather 30. It would take him 5 or 6 days. If he wanted to achieve a perfect grade Heavenly River baptism, it would take at least half a month. Under normal circumstances, Chen wouldn't mind taking his time. However, the Heavenly River was sealed at the moment, and no one knew when the seal would close. Therefore, to be safe, he had to finish the collection as quickly as possible and begin the baptism. Chen frowned in contemplation. After a moment, he raised his head and gazed into the distance. He could see countless light flashes moving across the Heavenly River. These were the various powerful figures capturing the Heavenly River Spirits. However, these experts were all in a sorry state. The ferocious Heavenly River Spirits were too much to handle, and aside from a few elites, most of them were barely holding on, facing life-threatening situations. As a result, some of these experts had to team up and begin encircling their targets. This time, setting up the formation took Chen quite a bit of time because this array was a remnant of a Grandmaster-level spirit array, the 9 Dragons Slaying Immortal array. When the last spiritual seal integrated into the void and began resonating with the others, Chen finally let out a sigh of relief. His palm dropped, and he looked ahead, a smile spreading across his face, although the area appeared calm. Only he knew that he had transformed it into a dragon's lair and a tiger's den. Even a perfect 9th grade expert who entered would surely face death. Now, let's see if this works. Chen's eyes sparkled with anticipation. He flicked his fingers, activating the innermost spirit gathering array. Immediately, a burst of light emanated, and a powerful suction force erupted. The surrounding Heavenly River waters surged. Invisible spiritual energy quickly gathered towards the array. Due to the vastness of the Heavenly River's spiritual energy, the effects of this spirit-gathering array were remarkably effective. Within just a few dozen breaths, The river water inside the array began to show signs of solidifying into spiritual energy crystals, with misty spiritual fog emanating from it. The spiritual energy within was clearly more refined and powerful compared to other areas of the heavenly river. Chen nodded slightly, observing this scene. The bait had been successfully set. Now, it was up to the fish to bite. If this failed, he would have to resort to his previous, more primitive but also less efficient methods. Chen sat quietly atop the golden dragon token, his eyes half closed. Around him, he had also set up an array to conceal his spiritual energy fluctuations, ensuring that the heavenly river spirits wouldn't detect his presence. Deep in the heavenly river, all was quiet, save for the occasional rippling of the water. Time passed slowly, yet there was still no movement around him. Chen furrowed his brows. Could his plan have failed? Just a little longer. He suppressed his impatience and decided to wait. His wait stretched on for another 10 minutes, and the stillness around him gradually eroded his hope. Just as Chen was about to give up, his expression suddenly shifted, and he looked ahead. There was movement in the river. The river water rippled, and a glow appeared in the distance, quickly drifting toward him. Chen's eyes lit up with joy. The light was unmistakably the manifestation of a heavenly river spirit. The heavenly river spirit swiftly approached, its body flickering with fluctuating light. As if it were somewhat anxious. It made a beeline for the spirit gathering array, clearly drawn to it. Seeing this, Chen's heart filled with joy. His hypothesis had indeed proven effective. The heavenly river spirit swayed as it arrived, slowing down as it reached the outermost layer of the spiritual arrays. It seemed to sense something unusual. Chen's heart skipped a beat. The heavenly river spirit seemed to have detected the abnormal spiritual fluctuations in the surrounding waters. The spirit of the heavenly river lingered outside the spirit array, looking somewhat hesitant. The overwhelming spiritual energy emanating from the spirit gathering array was like the most delicious food to it, making it crave it intensely. After hesitating for a moment, the simple spiritual intelligence of the heavenly river spirit could not resist the temptation before it. In the end, it could not hold back and charged in, slamming into the spirit gathering array. Buzz, it coiled inside the array, frantically devouring the immense spiritual energy. The buzzing sound reverberating around. It seemed to be in great joy. As the heavenly river spirit gleefully consumed the spiritual energy, a smile appeared on Chen's face. The fish had finally taken the bait. Now, it was time to reel it in. Boom! Chen's mind moved, and the layers of hidden spirit arrays outside the spirit gathering array suddenly erupted. In an instant, the arrays' intricate runes materialized, forming multiple layers of spirit arrays that completely enveloped the spirit gathering array. The sudden explosion of spiritual energy waves caused the heavenly river spirit to be jolted, and it immediately transformed into a streak of light, attempting to flee. However, it was already too late. The heavenly river spirit crashed into the first layer of the spirit array, and the heavenly level array was shattered in an instant. Then the second and third layers followed, breaking apart one after another. Seeing this, Chen couldn't help but click his tongue in admiration. Fortunately, he had prepared well. Otherwise, he would never have been able to trap the heavenly river spirit. Boom, boom. The layers of spirit arrays shattered under the furious impact of the heavenly river spirit. However, its speed was gradually slowing down. Clearly, the heavenly level arrays were taking a toll on it. In just about a minute, all the heavenly level spirit arrays had been shattered. But Chen wasn't worried. His trump card was the outermost layer, the 9 dragons slaying immortal array. Roar! When the heavenly river spirit reached the outermost layer, the 9 dragons slaying immortal array erupted with immense power. Vast spiritual energy transformed into a tangible giant dragon, slamming into the heavenly river spirit. Boom! The violent collision created massive waves, and the heavenly river spirit was struck back for the first time. The dazzling light around it dimmed significantly. Clearly, the 9 dragons slaying immortal array was far more powerful than the previous arrays. Chen's heart steadied as he saw this. The heavenly river spirit was now like a trapped prey, with no way to escape. Boom, boom. Over the next moments, the heavenly river spirit continued its wild attacks, but it was still unable to withstand the 9 dragons slaying immortal array. After being repeatedly pushed back, its light began to fade more and more. After the final collision, the once massive form of the heavenly river spirit had shrunk by half to at that moment. Chen stood up and appeared above the heavenly river spirit. With a single palm strike, a torrent of spiritual energy swept out, wrapping around the heavenly river spirit. His hand clenched, and the heavenly river spirit rapidly shrank, eventually turning into a crystal-clear stone, flowing with river-like water within the heavenly river. Crystal slowly rose, landing in Mu Chen's hand. He gave it a light shake, smiling in satisfaction, before another wave of spirit seals surged out of his sleeve, re-establishing the spirit arrays that had been destroyed by the heavenly river spirit. He could already sense that another heavenly river spirit was quickly approaching from the distance. In the next half hour, the area around Mu Chen grew increasingly lively. One heavenly river spirit after another surged from the depths of the heavenly river, rushing into the trap-filled spirit-gathering array like starving wolves pouncing on food. However, facing the heavy traps Mu Chen had set, these not-so-intelligent heavenly river spirits could only walk right into the snare that in just 1 hour. Mu Chen had collected as many as 13 heavenly river crystals. Even Mu Chen, known for his composure, couldn't help but grin at this rate. Collecting 30 heavenly river spirits shouldn't be too difficult. However, as Mu Chen continued his bounty of the heavenly river spirits, the fluctuations of the spirit arrays here began to spread, drawing the attention of some powerful individuals. When they saw Mu Chen so easily use the spirit array to capture the incredibly difficult-to-catch heavenly river spirits from a distance, their eyes nearly popped out in shock. They couldn't help but feel a surge of greed in their eyes. However, despite their desire, they didn't lose their rationality. They clearly sensed the immense power of the layers of spirit arrays. Even a heavenly river spirit at the peak of 9th grade, capable of entering the array, couldn't escape. How much more so for them? Thus, even though they were jealous, they dared only watch from afar and didn't approach. But clearly, not everyone was content with just watching. Boom! Mu Chen made his move and directly captured another heavenly river spirit that had expended too much energy. With a wave of his sleeve, he stored it away, but he didn't continue making moves. Instead, he stood up and coldly gazed into the distance. There, a beam of golden light sliced through the river and appeared before him after a few breaths. The feet of the visitor. A golden token emitted a golden glow, with a golden dragon appearing. Clearly, this was a golden dragon token, and standing upon it was a familiar figure, hands clasped. Behind his back, it was Xia Yu. Xia Yu stood upon the golden dragon token, smiling as he looked at Mu Chen, lightly clapping and praising. I didn't expect you to think of such a method to capture the heavenly river spirits. It truly opens my eyes. Mu Chen stared at Xia Yu expressionlessly, but didn't respond. Seeing this, Xia Yu wasn't angered. He only smiled lightly and said, "Hand over half of the heavenly river crystal you've obtained, or I'll make my move, destroy your spirit array, and make it impossible for you to take any more." Upon hearing this, a smile appeared on Mu Chen's face, and he raised a finger, pointing towards the distance. Scram. Facing Xia Yu's threat, Mu Chen gave the simplest and most blunt reply. Scram. Mu Chen's cold shout, wrapped in overwhelming spiritual energy, spread like a tidal wave, even causing the heavenly river's waters to shake, stirring up heavy waves. The nearby experts quickly dodged the oncoming waves, gazing at Mu Chen's figure with astonishment. They clearly didn't expect that when faced with someone like Xia Yu, Mu Chen's response would be so simple and brutal, with no respect given. After all, this was Xia Yu, the crown prince of the great Xia dynasty, and a top-tier figure ranked 4th on the strongest list. Across the entire Tianluo continent's younger generation, only a few could surpass Xia Yu, and his fame wasn't just due to his title, but rather earned through countless bloody battles. Facing such a figure, even someone like Jiao Yuoluo or Su Qingyin would probably proceed with caution. Mu Chen is really domineering. One of the stronger figures couldn't help but mutter, with a hint of mocking amusement in his voice. Although Mu Chen's recent rise had been significant, when compared to someone like Xia Yu, he clearly still lacked some experience. Indeed, but for someone of his age to reach this level, Mu Chen is not simple, another remarked. Mu Chen being a golden dragon disciple, how could he be ordinary? If Xia Yu really wanted to fight, I'd say the outcome is hard to predict. Some stronger individuals didn't exactly favor Xia Yu and instead leaned towards Mu Chen. Ridiculous. How can Mu Chen's golden dragon disciple status compare to Xia Yu's? He probably just found some flaw in the Dragon Ascension Gate and got lucky, another sneered. As these murmurs spread in the distance, Xia Yu remained with his arms crossed, standing on the golden dragon token. He gazed at Chen, his smile slowly fading. It's been a long time since I've met a young man so arrogant in front of me, Xia Yu said, his eyelids drooping slightly, his tone indifferent. Well, now you have, Chen casually replied. Xia Yu had targeted him repeatedly, and every opportunity was used to strike with ruthless methods. If it weren't for his desire to quickly obtain the Heavenly River baptism, he would have already taken action. Now, this guy was trying to snatch his Heavenly River crystal. This time, Chen had no intention of letting him off easily. A cold light flashed in Xia Yu's eyes as he nodded slightly. Very well, since you're sincerely seeking death, I'll grant your wish. I'll send your body back to the Great Luo Heaven Domain. Who sends you back is not certain, Chen smiled, his eyes sharp. He wasn't backing down. It seems that the spirit array around you has given you quite a bit of confidence, Xia Yu sneered. In his eyes, Chen dared to provoke him only because he had set up multiple spirit arrays around himself. But this could not know that while spirit arrays are powerful, they require someone to step into their range before they can unleash their full power? Facing a heavy spirit array set up by a spirit array master, any person with a functioning brain would never foolishly step into it. If Chen was trying to anger him into stepping in on his own, it seemed he was in for a miscalculation. Especially the outermost layer of the spirit array that Chen had set up, Xia Yu felt a slight sense of unease just from sensing it. If he charged in, even with his pride, he didn't believe he could break the array easily. However, in response to Xia Yu's mocking tone, Chen gave a faint, sarcastic smile. You have the guts to provoke me, but you're hesitating. You're the crown prince of the great Xia dynasty, yet you're pitiful. Xia Yu's expression immediately turned cold, and his gaze locked onto Chen like a blade, as if he wanted to slice him into 1,000 pieces. But Chen paid him no mind and smiled lightly. Since the crown prince of the great Xia dynasty is so incapable, I'll take a small loss this time, so others won't say I'm bullying you with my spirit array. With that, the golden dragon token beneath his feet floated out slowly, leaving the protective range of the layered spirit array. Chen wasn't being reckless by abandoning the heavy spirit array he had set up. He knew that Xia Yu didn't have the guts to step into it, so he would only be dragging things out. But Chen didn't want to see that happen. Time was of the essence, and he had to capture the Heavenly River spirits without delay. Besides, he couldn't afford to stay rooted in the spirit array forever. What if Xia Yu got desperate and resorted to underhanded methods, intentionally luring some Heavenly River spirits into the array to attack it? In that case, Chen would find himself in a disadvantaged position. Rather than wait for that to happen, it was better to take the initiative, leaving the spirit array behind as a backup, just in case. TSK, Chen actually abandoned the spirit array, truly bold and confident. Many powerful figures in the distance couldn't help but voice their admiration. After all, it took a lot of courage and confidence to face a strong enemy by giving up one's best method. Xia Yu, on the other hand, is so petty. The crown prince of the great Xia dynasty is so hesitant and fearful. No wonder he can't compare to the likes of Calavera and Su Qingyin. One person shook his head and commented. Indeed. Clearly, Chen's actions earned him some praise, while Xia Yu began to be looked down upon. Xia Yu's face turned ashen as he heard the derogatory remarks from afar. He hadn't expected that with just one step, Chen would place him in such a disreputable position. Now, even if he won this battle, people would likely claim that his victory was unearned. If he lost, he would become a stepping stone for Chen, and it seemed that, regardless of the outcome, he had already lost half the battle. You really are a schemer. Xia Yu's face darkened. He hadn't expected that by hesitating for just a moment, he had fallen right into Chen's rhythm. This kid was young, yet as cunning as a fox. No wonder even Xia Hong had fallen into his trap and ended up with a huge debt. Chen only smiled slightly. Since you wanted me to abandon one of my most powerful methods, you naturally had to pay the price. Though public opinion was against him, Xia Yu was far from an ordinary figure. He took a deep breath, suppressing the anger rising in him, and then turned his emotionless gaze toward Chen. His eyes were filled with a murderous intent. Clearly, he had made up his mind to cripple Chen right here. Xia Yu slowly lowered his arms, and a vast surge of spiritual energy erupted from his body like a volcano. The energy surged so intensely that even the lake water, heavy as 1,000 pounds, was pushed away. Around him, a vacuum zone began to form. The oppressive force of his spiritual energy radiated out. The powerful figures in the distance, feeling the weight of this spiritual pressure, couldn't help but change their expressions. This was the true peak 9th grade, and within that realm, Xia Yu was approaching its pinnacle. Xia Yu truly had the potential to challenge the Earth Supreme stage. It seemed that Chen was in grave danger this time. I'll show you, Xia Yu's face was indifferent. When faced with absolute power, all schemes become laughably insignificant. With that, he raised one hand, forming a palm, and aimed it at Chen. Without warning, he sent it crashing down toward him. Boom! As his palm descended, vast spiritual energy surged in torrents, converging beneath his hand to form a colossal dragon. This dragon's very presence radiated an aura of supremacy, as if it were the ruler of all beings. Great Xia Dynasty, Son of Heaven Divine Palm. Xia Yu struck out with a mighty palm, infused with the dragon chi of the Great Xia Dynasty. Like an imperial majesty, commanding the world, its might was unparalleled. Even an ordinary 9th grade supreme would likely have their courage shattered under this attack. Unable to face it head-on, from the moment Xia Yu made his move, his overwhelming strength was undeniable. Boom, boom, the massive dragon morphed into a dragon seal palm, tearing through space as it descended upon Chen. It carried the aura of the Son of Heaven, domineering and regal, ready to suppress all in its path. Chen lifted his gaze. Though Xia Yu's palm strike appeared effortless, the power condensed within it was terrifying, let alone someone at the initial 9th grade. Even a peak 9th grade powerhouse would hesitate to challenge it. A mere dynasty dares to call itself the Son of Heaven. Chen remained calm. If the Great Xia Dynasty truly ruled over the entire Tianluo continent, then the Son of Heaven's aura it nurtured might indeed be formidable. However, it was merely a regional overlord on this continent, far from possessing the dominance to suppress others with its aura alone. Roar. Chen brought his palms together. In an instant, dazzling golden light erupted from within him, sweeping across the heavens. As the brilliance surged, all onlookers saw an ethereal true dragon and true phoenix manifest behind Chen. They soared through the sky, exuding an indescribable sense of majesty. This was the might of the true dragon and true phoenix, rulers of the Dragon Clan and Phoenix Clan. Standing at the very pinnacle of the Great Thousand Worlds, their dominance far surpassed the so-called Son of Heaven's aura of the Great Xia Dynasty. Dragon Phoenix Palm, sovereign over all. In Chen's eyes, the true dragon and true phoenix coiled and danced. As he struck out, the two divine creatures roared forth, entwining around his palm before transforming into radiant golden light, blasting forward with devastating force. Boom. Two immense fist imprints tore through space, each entwined with a dragon's presence, radiating regal supremacy. They clashed head-on with Xia Yu's strike. A tremendous impact erupted as terrifying energies collided. The spirit of the true dragon and phoenix lunged forward, clashing fiercely with the Son of Heaven's dragon in a battle of dominance. Boom, 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 the mighty heavenly river trembled. But Xia Yu's expression darkened. He could see that under the relentless assault of the true dragon and true phoenix, his Son of Heaven's dragon was rapidly weakening. Though his Son of Heaven's dragon was powerful, it was clearly inferior in both aura and strength to the spirit of the true dragon and phoenix. If not for his superior spiritual energy, his Son of Heaven's dragon would have already crumbled. I didn't expect you to possess a genuine spirit of the true dragon and phoenix. Xia Yu's gaze turned grim, yet within his eyes flickered a trace of greed. If he could seize this true dragon spirit, then refine it with his Son of Heaven's aura, his strength would soar to unimaginable heights. This boy must die today. Murderous intent surged in Xia Yu's eyes. Without hesitation, he swept his sleeves, swiftly recalling his weakening Son of Heaven's dragon. Then, he stomped his foot, unleashing a brilliant golden radiance behind him. Within that dazzling light, an enormous silhouette rapidly took shape. It was clad in a majestic golden dragon robe, crowned with an imperial diadem, exuding an aura of absolute supremacy, untouchable and inviolable. In the distance, numerous powerhouses stared at the figure, their pupils contracting in shock as they exclaimed, "That is, the Son of Heaven law body? Ranked 40th on the supreme body